Well, good morning and welcome to the New Health Conversation. In particular, I want to address the censors who monitor the community guidelines on TikTok. Over the last couple months, we've had some instances where you censors have slowed down, limited, or stopped our podcast altogether because of a misunderstanding about what we were covering versus what you thought we were covering. One of the big things was you said that you thought at one point this was disordered eating or body dysphoria. Let's clear up those two things right away. This protocol, called protein pacing, is a registered trademark with the U.S. Patent Office. The U.S. Patent Office does not give out trademarks on things that are unhealthy to human beings. Number two, and here's the big one, this protocol, protein pacing, that we talk about in our podcast, is published in 10 of the biggest medical journals in the world for weight loss and health. There is nothing higher in medical investigation than a peer-reviewed human trial study, and this is published in 10 of them. So number one, it's 100% safe. Number two, it's been vetted. Number three, there are no claims. Everything that we're sharing with the audience is proven medically. You have nobody else on TikTok that we can find, or even doing searches in ChatGPT or Grok. They can't find anybody, any influence on TikTok with one shred of medical evidence other than the pharmaceutical companies and this protocol right here. So as far as disordered eating, nothing to do with that. As a matter of fact, people 5 days a week have 4 meals a day. 2 days a week, they're eating 8 times a day. In addition, as far as body image goes, or body dysphoria, this is a detox. It is not a diet. And one of the things that we teach people is the bloating that many people complain about has nothing to do with image or adding fat to the body. 1,000,000% it actually is. It is a detox. And what's happening, we're drinking, we're breathing, eating chemicals. As those chemicals enter the body takes the chemical and stuffs it inside our fat cells, and our fat cells expand. We have the same number of fat cells at puberty we do when we die, and our fat cells can expand or contract. It has nothing to do with vanity, it has nothing to do with body image. It's a medical fact. The body is warning us, and we're telling people about it, that the bloating they experience is not because they gain fat. That's not true. It's because their body is storing chemicals. This protocol, as a detox, is proven through blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis to remove chemicals from the body. And that's why people shrank naturally. It's nothing to do with image. It has nothing to do with body dysphoria. It has nothing to do with body image. It's medical, okay? The other thing you had talked about, at least at one point, that you were accusing us of having people directing them away from TikTok to go buy products. Let me be clear. There are no products. There have never been products. We have no plans on having products. I'm an author. I've written 4 best-selling books. There are no books on our website. The only thing there is the medical proof for people to see. And then if they like what they see, they can actually scroll down and get a free consultation and a free coach. I don't know of anybody on TikTok that's offering those kind of options. Last but not least, you said, again, you are concerned that it might not be original content or copyright. There's an interview on our website with the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the world, talking about the studies, and they wanted us to publish their studies on our site so they'd be in the public domain. So please understand, everything we're sharing with our audiences is based on real medical facts. There are no opinions. And like I said, you continue to allow people on TikTok to give people opinions with no medical proof. We'll prove it to you. Here's the searches from ChatGPT and from Grok, and here's what they said. TikTok's major weight loss and health influencers have no peer-reviewed trials to back up their claims. It's all opinions and anecdotal evidence from top influencers, despite massive followings. Give advice relying on borrowed interpretation of existing science, personal anecdotes, self-experiments, hyperclaims, promoting unproven biohacks, diets, and supplements with no peer-reviewed human trial studies. So we're the most compliant people you have on all of TikTok, and yet at times you've censored us, and you don't censor these people that are just giving people opinions. So hopefully this clears it up and we won't have any more interruptions in our podcast ever again. Thank you for your time. Well, good morning, everybody. I see a bunch of people are joining us already early. There's Cindy, Maria, I think that's Yvonne, Vindy, Modollar, Rosie, Vindy. Hi, Vindy. How are you? Zay, say hi. Oh, you did, Vindy. You did say hi. Sorry. I'm interested. And yeah, a lot of people are. No, Yakurita Lasham. And if I mispronounce your name, I apologize in advance, okay? So first of all, one of the biggest questions that I have to ask is this protocol, which is not a diet. It has nothing to do with dieting. It is a detox. You can see it right there. Diets don't work, but this did. She went all natural detox only, no products, no pills, lost 60 pounds in 90 days, 10 real human trial studies. I have them in my hand, confirm it. And 9 years later, her goal, her weight is still off. This is not a diet. If you think you're on a diet, if you think this is about dieting, you're on the wrong podcast. This is about detoxification. So first of all, yes, Yakira, if you're not, there's only countries that's available in the United States, Canada, Mexico, Puerto Rico, New Zealand, Australia, and anywhere in the EU. If you're anywhere else in the world, it's not available. So first, I don't want to get you all excited and then you can't get it. So are you located, your Korea, in one of those countries? And then I'm going to go over exactly, not just for you, but for everybody, good morning, everyone. Hello, Mimi. I'm going to go over exactly what is involved in this because diets don't work, but this did. She went all natural, detox only, no products, no pills, lost 60 pounds in 90 days, 10 real human trials confirm it, and 9 years later, she's kept the weight off. There was no exercise involved. They wore Fitbits to prove they didn't exercise. Now, I understand this is way out of the box for all of us, okay? This was invented by the top weight loss researchers in the entire world. Oh, great, Arizona, no problem. Okay, so now I'm going to walk through for everybody to please listen, everyone. Just give me 1 or 2 minutes. These 2 minutes could change the rest of your life. You think that's marketing hype? Wait do you see. First of all, it's published in 10 of the biggest medical journals in the world. I would defy you, Yakim, or anybody else. Are you aware, Yakaria? Are you aware of anybody on TikTok with one shred of medical evidence? Give me a yes or no. Any of you can do that. There are none. All they're giving you is opinions, anecdotal stories, nothing that has any medical backing. This is backed by 10 of the biggest medical journals in the world. It took over 40 years of research to figure it out. And when you hear the solution, you're almost going to laugh at how simple it really was. And it took them this long to figure it out. Yeah, she's saying, no, I'm not aware of anybody. Okay, so let's keep going. All right, so everyone, please, it's going to take me a minute or two, so don't get impatient. This information could absolutely change the rest of all of your lives. Okay, so here we go. It was invented by the top weight loss nutrition researchers in the world. They've been paid for 40 years to analyze diets. In 40 years, they never found a diet that worked. 2/3 of everybody they ever studied gained more weight than they lost because 25 to 40% of the weight you're losing on any diet, and if you've ever been on, is your lean muscle mass. And losing lean muscle mass is one of the most unhealthy things you can ever do, as we're finding out medically. Number one, losing lean muscle, which you do on every diet, slows down your metabolism. But what else it slows down, you'd probably be shocked to know, is your own immune system. And number three, in recent studies, older people with loss of muscle mass, they're saying it's a major contributing factor to dementia. So this is really serious stuff. There's not a diet you're on where you're not losing lean muscle, except this. She gained 9% lean muscle mass. Gained 9%. Okay, so what they did, they said after 40 years, diets don't work. There've got to be areas in the world where no one's overweight. And they found other researchers that have been going to areas in the world where no one was overweight. And where were they? In Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand. And here was the secret. These people simply had foods that you can't buy in any grocery store that had really high levels of nutrition. Therefore, they could eat less food. I know it sounds too simple. What? See, the fallacy we have in the West is that somehow counting calories, calorie deficit is the way to lose weight. Well, that's just completely made up. A calorie is just a laboratory measurement. It's not a real thing. Your body doesn't count calories, doesn't care about calories. Hopefully you're relieved now to understand on this, there's no calorie counting. You're going to get serving sizes because the only thing your body can measure and cares about is nutrition. It's that simple. So these people in these faraway regions, they didn't care how much food they were eating. They only, as it turned out, their hunger got turned off, not by how much they put in their mouth, but how much nutrition their body was able to use. Okay, so anyway, they put together a food list that you would get. If you go to, I'm going to put the free website at the bottom you all can go to. Hold on just a second here. It's called The New Health Conversation. And thank you for the hearts. I appreciate the love you're giving me already. Now listen. So they put together a grocery list that you would get from our coaches. By the way, the coaching on this, zero, free. The consultation, free. We have no products to sell you. I know it sounds crazy. We'll get into all that in just a moment. Let me finish on what you'll be doing. So you get a grocery list from our coaches, you take to the grocery store, and if you took your total food budget, because cost already, I know everybody's talking about, but there are no products here. There are no lotions, potions, pills, supplements. No, you're buying food. 30% from your grocery store, and you get a grocery list of proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables. And you're going to get serving sizes, not calorie amounts. Then the other 70% of the food literally comes from Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand, these foods with these huge amounts of nutrition that the researchers called the world's most perfect foods from a nutritional standpoint. Am I making sense, everybody? Give me some yeses if you can follow this. Then what they did is put together a new way of eating called protein pacing. You can Google it. It's a registered trademark with the U.S. Patent Office. A new way of eating, believe it or not. So here's what she did until she lost her weight. 5 days a week, 4 meals a day. Don't panic. Starting with the world's most perfect food for breakfast, lunch, and dinner from your grocery list, and a fourth meal, the world's most perfect foods. And yes, it has to be 4 meals. But understand, you're getting smaller portions than you used to, but those portions, because of these world's most perfect foods, you're getting huge amounts of nutrition. Remember, your hunger does not come from lack of calories. No, hell no, hell no, 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 nothing. You got it, everybody? If anything, see, we're educators. We're teaching you from a medical perspective the real truth, not a bunch of nonsense, not a bunch of yakking with these people on TikTok. They're nice people. They don't have a shred of evidence, and you're all following them. Do you know right now they're projecting in 4 years, John Hopkins Medical School, 86% of you will be overweight or obese in the United States in 4 years. Does that sound to you like diets are working, or maybe you need an alternative? Okay, so 5 days a week, 4 meals a day. Now here's the detox part. 2 days a week, no food from the grocery store at all. What? Relax. Your food you're going to eat on those days only comes from these world's most perfect foods. And this time she ate 8 times a day. She was eating every hour and a half for 2 hours. Now there was a reason for that. You see, every night when you go to bed, whether you know it or not, your body slows down digestion and turns on a natural detox mechanism called autophagy when your body gets rid of the dead cells. Now, let's stop right there. Do all of you believe, give me some yeses, do you believe we're living in a toxic world, and do you believe you're toxic? If you don't, you're literally on the wrong podcast. This is not a diet, it's about detox. And what we know for sure, it's not up for debate. We're drinking, we're breathing, we're eating chemicals. As they enter the body takes that chemical and stuffs it inside what's called your visceral fat, is the fat around your organs, and those fat cells expand. Don't let anybody tell you you're getting fatter. You have the same number of fat cells at puberty you have when you die, give or take a few, and those fat cells expand or contract. The bloating you're experiencing is your body warning you, telling you you're storing fat. It has nothing to do with body image. It has nothing to do with anything like that. It's simply a medical fact where the body, to protect us, is storing the chemicals in our fat cells. Not up for debate, period. So the reason they gave those foods only, because remember what I said, in order to detox, you have to all but suspend digestion. Well, by giving her 8 meals a day, she was getting really small amounts of food with huge amounts of nutrition, which turned on the detox mechanism. Now, how do they know? Because they did blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis and proved this is removing chemicals from the body. And that's why her and the other pictures I'm going to show you, you're going to see how much they shrank. That was with no exercise at all. And then also what they found on this, diabetics, the need for insulin came down 50%, blood pressure, blood sugar, cholesterol, triglycerides all dropped. But here was a big one, inflammation, which plagues every single one of us. It came down 25% in a month. No one's ever seen anything. No diet has ever produced anything like this, because no diets have ever been published in 10 of the biggest medical journals in the world, proving it's safe, it's real, and you're going to learn how to lose as much weight on this in 4 days as 6 weeks of any diet you've ever been on. And we've got the medical proof on the website to show you. Here is the website for all of you to go to for free if you decide you want to do that. Let me put it in there for all of you. The new health conversation. There's nothing on that website except the medical proof. And if you like what you see, it's important you understand you're in control. You get to scroll down, you get a free consultation and a free coach if that's what you want to do. But at least go and look at the medical proof, including an interview with the #1 weight loss nutrition physiologist in the world. Everybody that I ask, and I'll ask the new people that are on here again, Yakim, I just went over that with you, Yakim. You're buying a month's worth of food. Did you not hear what I explained to you? 30% of what you're going to spend, you get a grocery list, you take it to your grocery store. That leaves you 70% of your money to buy these exotic foods around the world. Maybe you're going to spend $25 or $30 more a week than you are now. But remember, the foods that are coming from Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand have about 300 different nutrients. Can you take 300 pills a day? Because there's no pills involved in this. And unless you're on a prescription for low iron or calcium, you don't need any supplements at all. You're buying a month's worth of food, everybody. There's no products. So it's not like, oh, you're buying food and then you're buying products. There are no products. The product is the food. You have to eat. You're buying a month's worth of food, but look at the results. And you can lose as much weight in 4 days. Hello, Yvonne. It loses as much weight in 4 days as 6 weeks of any diet. We've got the medical proof to back it up. On the website, go and look. The medical proof is there. And I'd love to ask anybody, if you're honest about it, would you really be on this podcast right now? If you had found a diet where you lost weight and kept it off, would you even be on this podcast? No, you wouldn't. I know you wouldn't be. You're looking for a real solution. And here's the only medical solution on the whole damn internet. Backed by the shots, you can do the shots, but wait till you hear how ineffective they really are in terms of the actual weight loss. Nothing I'm making up. I'm not even against the shots. They're helping diabetics and they're helping people morbidly obese. So don't hear me say I'm against the shots. All I'm going to show you is the reality of the comparison of the shot versus this. This is not a diet. And what I'll do for anybody who wants to know, if you'll tell me if you're male or female, how tall you are, your current weight, I'll blow your mind. You'll lose as much weight on this in 4 days as 6 weeks of any diet. So tomorrow's March 1st. So imagine you could start tomorrow. Say you started Monday of this week. So today's Friday. Do you realize in 4 days you would have lost as much weight that would have taken you to the middle of April on any diet? I'll prove it to you. Just tell me, are you male or female, how tall you are? Free consultation, free. Now, you think maybe we're making things up. The New Health Conversation, we've helped 800,000 people, 800,000 in 23 years. You don't think we know what we're doing? And we didn't invent this, but we implement it. We're the ones that are teaching people how to do it. It's called the New Health Conversation. Hey, Margie, thank you very much. Okay, Margie, 5'2", great weight for you medically would be about 110, that's 79 pounds. Margie, first 4 days, brace yourself. You're going to lose 6 or 8 pounds in 4 days. The first month, Margie, you should lose about 20 pounds. You'll be 169 after 2 months, 149. After 2 months, you should be at 149. 3 months, 129. 4 months, you'll be at your goal. Did you hear what I said, Margie? Within 4 months, you should be 110. It might happen faster. I'm giving you conservative numbers, but you run the math on her. She lost 60 pounds in 90 days. That's 5 pounds a week average. This is the low average. We can look at someone who only need to lose 30 pounds. She lost 21 pounds in a month. 5 pounds a week. And then it gets even better. This gentleman here is 65 years old, everybody. He lost 40 pounds in a month. That's 10 pounds a week. But look at his A1C. Went from 8.4 to 6.4. Triglycerides 242 to 120. But the A1C, 25% drop in 30 days. The medical people who've gone here are astounded. They've never seen anything like this. Now, Eric, look at this, everybody, 45 pounds in a month. That's 1.5 pounds a day. But look at his medical, his triglycerides, LDL, cut by 50% in 30 days. And then look at his blood pressure from 134 over 91 to 102 over 61. That's in 30 days, everybody. This is not a diet. This is life-changing. You can change the rest of your life. And then look at someone like this. This is a wonderful story. 200 pounds in 11 months. 200. And look at her body. That's the Detox that did that. So again, all of you, she lost 60 pounds in 90 days, not a diet, a detox. And I'm willing, yeah, I know, Margie, but we see it all the time. And more people want to know, BRUV, I'm a male, I'm 116, I need to know how tall you are. So BR, you're 114 kilos, but I need to know how tall are you? Please give me that and I'll give you your numbers. Black, 10 pounds a week. No, Black, you're actually completely 1,000,000% wrong. Let me explain to you why. See, that's an opinion you're giving me, okay? On a diet, number one, it would be impossible. So what you have to understand immediately, Black, to disquiet that, this is published in 10 of the biggest medical journals in the world. It's been scrutinized by the top. Do you know what happened to these people? They gained 9 to 12% lean muscle mass. The nonsense you've been told, and it's nonsense, that on a diet, if you lose more than 1 pound a week, it's unhealthy because you're losing lean muscle mass. That is true. This is not a diet. She gained 9% lean muscle mass with no exercise. She was so much healthier at the end. So your opinion, well taken based on a diet. You're trying to compare this to diets, you're on the wrong podcast. Go do a diet then, you're maybe going to lose 1 pound a week. None of those medical numbers are going to change. I mean, inflammation went down 25% on this, and then what are you doing about detoxing your body? 0. I would ask you this, Black, with all due respect, are you aware of anybody on TikTok? anybody, or social media with one shred of medical evidence. This, what you're looking at there, is backed by 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies. So again, I disquiet your comment based on real medical evidence, not an opinion on my part. So you can believe whatever you want to believe. I happen to go with medical proof, medical evidence, period, that's it. So let's keep going. On diets, Black, you're losing muscle. Bruv, I'm 5'6". Okay, you're 5'6", and you're 114. Okay, so at 5'6", 114, 228. Okay, at 5'6", you want to be, your ideal weight would probably be at 5'6". I'd say about 75 kilos, so let's go through it. The first 4 days, you're going to lose 3 to 4 kilos in 4 days. The first month, I know it'll blow your mind, you should lose close to 10 kilos. That means you're going to be at 104 after 1 month. The second month, you should drop down about 94 kilos. The third month, 94, 84 kilos. The fourth month, 74. So basically, in less than 4 months, you should be somewhere around your goal, which would be at 150, about 70 or 75 kilos. Tell me how excited, bruv, you'd be about that. I know, but we see it all the time. But look, everybody, let me show you. This is 20 kilos in a month. Look at him. Look at his stomach on day one. Look at it. See, and again, Black, to the person saying, oh my God, it's unhealthy to lose 10 pounds a week. Look at his stomach. Let me ask you, bruv, do you think he's healthier on day 30 than he was on day one? You tell me. Again, look at him. And I've had people tell me, oh, he was sucking in his stomach. Okay. How did he suck in his neck? How did he do that? I mean, I don't know how you would do that, right? See, the thing, people are so brainwashed because we've all, including me, for years told it's about calories in, calories out, diet and exercise. Really? Really? Well, here's the evidence. Johns Hopkins Medical School is now projecting in 4 years an obesity apocalypse. They're estimating 86% of you are going to be overweight or obese in 4 years. So count those calories. Tell me how it's working. And you can't, nobody can show me, bruv, are you aware of anybody on social media with one shred of medical evidence? Who would it be? I'm blown off by amazement. I'm glad, bro. I'm glad you're blown off by amazement. We see it all the time. Well, look at Eric. Wait a second. Look at this. How about 45 pounds, bruv, in a month? 40, that's 1.5 pounds a day. That would be 22.5 kilos in a month, But look at his numbers. Look at you. Tell me, bruv, you think healthier? His triglycerides went from 229 to 110, LDL from 145 to 62, blood pressure from 134 over 91 down to 102 over 61. Does that sound like that's unhealthy to you, despite the fact he lost 45 pounds in a month? Does that seem unhealthy to you? No one's ever seen numbers like this. You've got to understand. This is published in the biggest medical journals in the world. You're all following what? Smoke and mirrors. Chatter. Oh, they're chatting it up. They're nice people. They don't have a damn shred of evidence, and you're all like lemmings off the cliff together. Count those calories. It doesn't work, for crying out loud. It doesn't work. This does. And the biggest thing behind this, what? A1Cs stay the same. In his case, because he didn't have high A1C, but how about Curtis? How about that? 8.4 to 6.4. That's a 25% drop in 30 days. Look at his stomach. You don't think he's healthier 30 days later? And again, I would, with all due respect, Blacks, tell me one person you've ever seen on social media with one shred of medical evidence. Who would it be? Are you aware? Just give me a yes or no. Be honest. Be honest. This is published in 10 of the biggest medical journals in the world, and it's not a diet, it's a detox. And it took 40, the top weight loss researchers in the world invented it. They have no products. There are no products to buy, Blacks. There's no products. It's food and a new way of eating. That's it. I mean, again, you're more than entitled to your opinions, but your opinions aren't based on facts. They're based on anecdotal evidence from people giving you anecdotal evidence with no medical proof at all. None. The proof is, if 86% of Americans are going to be overweight and obese in 4 years, do you need more proof that diets are miserable failures? Do you need any more proof than that? Because if you do, here's Medicare. Let me read this to everybody. Medicare's search for effective obesity treatments. Diets are not the answer. Our researchers at Medicare looked at the long-term outcomes of calorie-restricted diets and diets in general to find an effective treatment, if there was an effective treatment for obesity. The study showed that 2/3 of dieters regained more weight than they lost on any diet. Woo! Let's do those diets, everybody. This is a national disaster, a worldwide disaster. We got 2.5 billion people worldwide overweight and 1 billion clinically obese. How's that working? Look at his stomach on day 1 and day 30. What, you don't think he's healthy? Those numbers, his A1C from 8.4 to 6.4 in a month? Are you kidding me? He's a younger guy. Again, 45 pounds in a month. A1C from 7.9 to 6.2. Those are unheard of numbers. We get medical doctors on here and nurses, they're going, this is impossible, except it isn't. And again, it's published in the biggest journals in the world. We can't edit that. We can't change that. It's up to all of you. What do you want to do with your lives? You want to keep continuing to follow people giving you opinions and anecdotes? Or do you want medical science? I would challenge any of you. Kay, there's no product. Share, how does this work? And blacks, why? Why? I'm not quite what you mean, why. You mean, why does it work? How do we do this? Okay. Well, okay, blacks, again. Blacks, I'm not trying to argue with you, okay? I'm a scientist, all right? Let me tell you, blacks and everybody else, you think I'm some guy up here yakking. Let me show you my credentials. And I'm not trying to impress you or impress upon you. So I've written 4 best-selling books for some of the biggest medical doctors in the world. I did 20 appearances on public broadcasting. I've done over 1,500 live lectures around the world in hospitals and universities. Hell, they flew me to China where they have an obesity epidemic. I was a keynote speaker at Autism One in Chicago, the largest autism conference in the world, 2 years in a row. So I got a little bit of credibility. I'm not just giving you opinions. My opinions don't mean a damn thing. The only thing that should matter to you is the medical proof, period. If it doesn't, you're on the wrong podcast. And go follow these people that are just yakking and giving you anecdotal evidence with no proof whatsoever. Got it, everybody? All right, so let's talk about how they did it. So first of all, you can read it. Diets don't work, but this did. She went all natural detox only. There are no products, no pills. Lost 60 pounds in 90 days and backed by 10 real human trials. And she's kept the weight off for 9 years. That's the other important thing. This is sustainable. I lost 40 pounds, 20 kilos in 30 days, 23 years ago. I've kept it off for 23 years. Have any of you done anything like that? I doubt it. So let's talk about what they did. Who invented it? It was invented by the top weight loss researchers in the world who for 40 years were paid to analyze diets. They're recognized as the top people in the world. They invented this. They have no products. They don't have a company. Now, here's what they did. They said, wait a minute, there's got to be some place. After 40 years, they never found a diet that worked because 25 to 40% of what you lose on any diet is your lean muscle mass, which is one of the most unhealthy things you could ever do. So blacks on a diet, I'd be in violent agreement with you. There's no diet where the weight they're losing, 25 to 40% is lean muscle, which slows down metabolism. That's why everybody gains all the weight back. But much worse, by losing lean muscle, you slow down your own immune system. So yes, unbelievably unhealthy to be on a diet. Unbelievable, but worse. Just in the last couple of weeks, they came out and said elderly people with loss of lean muscle mass, major contributing factor to dementia, for crying out loud. Keep going on those diets, everybody. They're great. No, they're not. They suck. You're miserable because you're starving to death. And here's why diets can't work and what the research has figured out. Here's why diets don't work. A diet is you're reducing the quantity of food you're consuming. But really, what are you reducing? The thing that keeps you alive is not calories. Your body can't count a calorie. Can anybody even give me the medical definition of a calorie? Does anybody even know what it is? We've all been told about calorie deficit to lose weight, and your body has no idea what a calorie is. It's never counted a calorie. Your hunger is never generated by lack of calories. It's generated by one thing, lack of nutrition. So you go on a diet, you reduce the amount of food. No one's telling you this until now. You reduce the amount of food, you reduce the amount of nutrition. The brain thinks you're starving to death. Nutritionally, you are. And what does it do for fuel? It goes to the richest source of fuel in your body, your muscles. It breaks your muscles down for fuel. It's called catabolic metabolism. Go look it up. What the hell are we doing? This is what we're doing. You wonder why you have all the loose skin? You lose 40% of your lean muscle. The muscle is the structure to hold your skin up. You take that away, the skin falls. That's why people have all the loose skin on their body. These researchers found other researchers who had gone around the world for 20 years and found people in regions where nobody was overweight. And it was one simple thing. Those people ate foods that we don't have access in our grocery stores anywhere else in the world, with a massive amounts of nutrition so they could literally eat less food. I know that sounds too simple. So this program is based on food. First of all, you would get a grocery list from our coaches. We offer you free coaching. How much is the coaching? $0. How much is the consultation? $0. We all got coached. You get a grocery list. Now here's the thing. People are going to ask about cost immediately. Imagine you have no food in your house. You come to us. Here's your grocery list. Take it to the grocery store, but only 30% of what you spent last month, you're going to spend at the grocery store on proteins, fats, carbs, fruits and vegetables. But they're based on serving sizes, not calories. So you're buying way less food than you did last month. That leaves you 70% of the money to go and get these exotic foods from Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand, where these people, no one's overweight, and they have these huge amounts of nutrition. So that was part of it. But then they invented a new way of eating based on this new nutritional model where 5 days a week she had 4 meals a day. It's called protein pacing. You all can look it up. It's a registered trademark by the U.S. Patent Office, right? 5 days a week, 4 meals a day, starting with the world's most perfect foods for breakfast. Now, why do they call them the world's most perfect foods? Because those foods have about 300 different nutrients, not 30, 300. So unless you're on a prescription for low iron or calcium, you don't need any supplements at all. Breakfast, the world's most perfect food. Lunch and dinner from your grocery store. Fourth meal, the world's most perfect foods. Now, you got to have 4 meals a day. Trust me, that's until you lose your weight. Then 2 days a week, here comes the detox. Now, let me stop right there. Do all of you believe we're living in a toxic world and that you're toxic? If you don't, you're on the wrong podcast, because here's what we know. We're drinking, we're breathing, we're eating chemicals. And those chemicals, once they enter the body, the brain freaks out to protect us, takes the chemical and stuffs it inside your visceral fat. The bloating you're experiencing is not because you added fat to your body. You have the same number of fat cells at puberty you do when you die. Your fat cells expand or contract. Don't fall into this nonsense. You burn fat on a diet or you burn fat at the gym. That's just absolute horse manure. You have the same number of fat cells, give or take a few, over your lifetime, and they can expand or contract. What the body's doing to protect you, it's storing the chemical in the fat cell, and that's why you have the bloating. This is a full-blown detox. Now, let me give you one other part of news. Last night, when you went to sleep, as long as you didn't eat too late, your body basically suspends digestion. And it has to do that to turn on a natural detox mechanism called autophagy when your body gets rid of the dead cells. Everybody following me? It happens every night as long as you don't eat too late. Okay, on this protocol, because they allowed them. I am sharing the word. Okay, people said share the word. That's what I'm doing. So listen to me. On the 2 days a week until you lose your weight, when you're having no food from your grocery store, only these world's most perfect foods 8 times a day, she was getting really small amounts of food. That was important because it involved almost no digestion. Remember, I taught you, you have to all but suspend digestion in order for the body to naturally detox. There is no product you can buy that detoxes. That's nonsense. You're all going to get hoodwinked. They're going to come out with detox and all this. There's no evidence behind that. This is medically proven. So what happens is 8 servings of a little bit of food, but large amounts of nutrition turned on the detox mechanism. Now, how do we know? Because it's published in the medical journals through blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis that this is helping your body remove chemicals from the body. Unless you think it's a good idea, which you all are doing now, you're storing poisons in your body right now as we speak, right now. You're not doing anything to detox. What would you be doing to detox? Are you doing keto or paleo or Mediterranean or time-restricted eating or carnivore or count your macros? Hell no. That's all nonsense. It's all just, there's nothing. It's all nonsense. This is medically proven. And if you don't think you need to detox, then you're on the wrong podcast and go do something else. I don't want to be mean, but that's the truth. You either believe in science or you don't. If you don't believe, good. Let me know how that turns out. Let me know how it turns out when 40% of the weight you're losing on any diet is your lean muscle mass, and you've slowed down your metabolism and your immune system, and if you're older, you're increasing your risk of dementia. Other than that, it's great. Let's keep dieting. This is crazy what we're doing. Crazy. Now, the other part about this is maintenance. She's kept the weight up for 9 years. How? Every morning, she has the world's most perfect food for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and every couple months does another 48-hour detox. Now, why is that necessary? Because the toxins don't go on vacation, everybody. Now, probably none of you have ever heard of this. I'd like some yeses or nos. Has anyone ever heard of the TDOS syndrome? The T stands for toxicity, the D for nutritional deficiency, overweight, and stress. Registered trademark, U.S. Patent Office. Registered trademark. Every person in the world has this syndrome. It was discovered by this researcher, Peter Greenlaw. Well, guess what, everybody? That's me. So I discovered a medical syndrome that everybody in the world has. Maybe you want to listen to what I'm saying, but it's not my opinions. I'm not giving you opinions. Everything I'm telling you is based on medical proof and medical science. And again, I've asked any and all of you, can you tell me, can anybody give me, oh, Kiana, I'm sitting here with a pen and pencil. I'm agreeing with you. Great, Black Scythe. Again, look, please understand something. I'm a scientist, Blacks. I'm only giving you medical proof. None of it's my opinion. I don't want anybody to believe me. But Blacks, these numbers that we're seeing are a result not of dieting, but of detoxing. Blacks, can I ask you something? Do you believe we're living in a toxic world? Do you believe you're toxic? And with all due respect, blacks, what are you doing to remove chemicals from your body? Zero. Everybody is. Well, until this was invented, you understand it's the first time in history that they've ever done this kind of medical research. They did blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis and proved, blacks, this is removing chemicals from the body. It lowered inflammation, which plagues every one of us, by 25% in a month. Blacks, this has never been seen in history. And the weight they're losing, number one, they gained 9 to 12% lean muscle. Instead of losing lean muscle, the reverse happened with no exercise. They wore Fitbits, everybody, to prove they didn't exercise. Not that the researchers were against exercise, but we know that exercise, here's another big myth, diet and exercise to lose weight. Landmark study, UCLA, listen, UCLA researchers found that diet and exercise ineffectiveness parallels all diets. Like nearly every dieting method combining diet and exercise proves unsuccessful for meaningful long-term weight loss. So if you're going to the gym and killing yourself and think you're going to lose weight, good luck. They're not against exercise, but it's for cardiovascular. It's not a weight loss strategy. So these trainers that are telling you, well, we're going to show you how to burn, 1,000 calories a day. No, you're not. You don't have any proof. It's chatter. Yak, 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 yak. You don't have any proof. Proof is peer-reviewed human trial medical studies. No drug ever gets approved without a peer-reviewed human trial study. Would you take a drug that hadn't been put to the scrutiny? This protocol went to the same journals that drugs get approved, especially like Nature Communications. One of the studies that I'm holding here in my hand didn't even have anything to do with the weight loss on this. You know what it had to do with? Your gut health. Hell, they had people with Crohn's and colitis and irritable bowel and leaky gut and acid reflux. Massive improvement in their symptoms in the first 30 days. This is not a diet. I keep trying to get that across to everybody. And you all can go to this website right here. I just posted at the bottom for everybody right there. The New Health Conversation. Here's what I'm going to tell you. If you go there, we won't contact you on my kids' lives and my grandkids' lives. We don't need to do that. There's the medical proof. You either believe in medical proof or you don't. If you don't, have a great day. Now, you may think I'm arrogant. I'm not being arrogant. I'm a scientist. I'm just saying to you, science is so cool. It has no emotions, unlike me. It just is. Like blacks, the science is the science. It doesn't care. It doesn't lie. The facts are the facts. And the facts are, blacks, we're in a disaster. If 86% of Americans are going to be overweight or obese in 4 years, how are we going to deal with the diabetes alone? This is the solution. It's right at your fingertips right now. If you go to the New Health Conversation, we're not going to contact you. We don't do that. We don't have time. We shouldn't have to convince you. There's an interview there with the #1 weight loss nutrition physiologist in the whole world. You can lose as much weight on this in 4 days as 6 weeks of any diet. Come on, everybody, put some numbers in there. I want to know, are you male or female, how tall you are, and your current weight, and I'll tell you how fast you can lose weight on this. But look at this lady here, only wanted to lose 30 pounds. She lost 21 pounds in a month out of 30 pounds. So you don't have to weigh 500 pounds to lose 5, 10 pounds a week. Look at Ken here, 34 pounds in 29 days. That's more than a pound a day. Look at how much his body changed. That's not body image. That's the medical proof. He's shrinking because the body is removing chemicals from the fat cells, and the fat cells are shrinking with no exercise. And then if you look at Eric, look at his triglycerides and LDL in half in 30 days. You think there's a drug you could take to do that? His blood pressure, 134/91, 102/61. Do you know most of the people on meds on this, whether it was high blood pressure or blood sugar, had to cut with the help of their doctors? Always with the help of their doctors. They had to cut their meds by 50% in 30 days. You don't think this is healthy? I'm not saying you don't. I was using an anecdote. And it's just so amazing that when you look at people that this lady here, she lost 100 pounds 13 years ago. The picture on the right is about 4 months ago. It doesn't look like the same person, but she's kept it off for 13 years. 100 pounds. Look at her. I mean, it's so exciting. You all have a chance to hit the do-over button for the rest of your lives. Or sadly, you can follow these people on TikTok without any medical proof. None. Ruby, 5'2", 220. Okay, Ruby, 5'2", 110 would be a great weight for you, 110 pounds. Ruby, get ready. First 4 days, you're going to lose 8 to 10 pounds. The first month, Ruby, you'll probably lose 25 to 30 pounds. Let's go with 25. That's going to get you down to 195 after 1 month. The second month, I think you're going to be very close to 170. The third month, it'll slow down a little bit. After 3 months, you should be 150. After 4 months, 150, 130. So 5 months or less, Ruby, you're going to be 110. Tell me how excited you are about those numbers, and you're going to gain lean muscle, even if you don't exercise. But the main thing you're doing is you're detoxing your body. And here's the website you can go to, Mrs. B. I'll do you in 1 second. Come on, everybody, help me out here. This is a community. This is a movement. We're people helping people. That's why, for example, you're all going to get coached for free if you decide to do it. It's a free consultation. Ruby, right there. Do you understand? There's the New Health Conversation right below your name. Okay, so Ashton, 55240. Ashton, female. Hello and good morning. Unless it's afternoon, in case you're in London. 5'5". A great weight for you, about 120. That's 120 pounds. Ashton, first 4 days, 8 to 10 pounds. First month, probably 25. So after 1 month, I'd see you at 215. After 2 months, I'd see you 215. You're going to be about 190. After 3 months, it'll slow down a little bit. You should be 170 after 3 months, 150 after 4 months. And after 5 months, you should be right at your goal of about 120, 125. Tell me how excited, Ashton, you'd be about those numbers. Also, ladies, you're going to lose a dress size in the first week. That's normal with no exercise. Men lose 2 to 4 inches off their waist in a week. You can see how much she shrank, even to the point where people accuse us if it's a different woman. That's the daughter of a friend of mine. We didn't Photoshop a damn thing. We're scientists. We have nothing to sell you. We don't have any products. So how would we benefit from screwing you over by giving you false pictures? You're buying either from your grocery store, you get a grocery list from our coaches, or directly from these researchers from these foods in Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand. So if you took your total, imagine you have no food. You're buying food and there's no products. There's no lotions, potions, pills. No, you're buying food. You get a grocery list, only 30% of what you spent last month total you'd spend at your grocery store this month for proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables. The other 70% comes from these faraway locations in Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand that represent huge amounts of nutrition, and you can't buy in any grocery store. They call them the world's most perfect foods. From a nutritional standpoint, they have about 300 different nutrients. So unless you're on a prescription for low iron or calcium, you don't need any supplements. And then what you do, 5 days a week, you're going to have 4 meals a day. What? Yeah. You start with the world's most perfect food for breakfast, lunch, and dinner from your grocery store, and a 4th meal, world's most perfect foods. Then 2 days a week, this is all until you lose your weight. No food from the grocery store, only these world's most perfect foods. And this time, she ate 8 times a day. She was eating every hour and a half for 2 hours. The diabetics on this, no one had insulin spikes. People who weighed 400 pounds weren't hungry. If I can teach you anything right now, it's this. You've never in your life ever been hungry for a calorie. Your body has no idea what calories are. It doesn't count calories. So all these diets you've been told about calorie deficit is total hogwash, throw it out the window. They don't have a shred of evidence to back that up. It's just opinions they're giving you for these people on social media. I can tell you right now, we can't find anybody with one shred of medical evidence other than the pharmaceutical companies, and now this protocol, which is published in 10 of the biggest medical journals in the world. What else did they find? They found inflammation came down 25% in a month. And they did blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis, proving this was a detox. The main reason to do this, everybody, is detox. The weight loss is your throw-in. You can lose as much weight as I'm showing people right now in 4 days as 6 weeks of any diet. I'm doing free consultations right now to anybody that wants to know. I just need to know if you're male or female, how tall you are, and your current weight, and I'll tell you how much you can lose in 4 days and then how you can get the rest of the weight off and keep it. I lost 40 pounds, 20 kilos in 7 weeks, 23 years ago. I've kept it off for 23 years. That's what you should be excited about, okay? Now, Mrs. B, I did. Hold on. Let me go back up here, Mrs. B. No, Mrs. B, apologize. The reason I'm speaking so fast is because people, especially here, they only have like 10 seconds, so I have to try and get a lot in a little bit of time. Okay, so let me do you, Mrs. B. Okay, I'm assuming you're 5'4", you're 196. Yeah, there you go. Okay. I'm 5'4", 196, 54 years of age. Okay. Wow, that's amazing. 5'4" and 54. That's a good rhyme. All right. So for you, at 5'4", you want to be 120. That's 76 pounds. Mrs. B, the first 4 days, you're going to lose between 6 and 8 pounds. The first month, Mrs. B, minimum, you're going to lose. Yeah, you'll probably lose close to 25 pounds in the first month, so that's going to get you down to 25 pounds gets you down to 171. It'll slow down the second month. You should lose 20 pounds, so after 2 months, you should be 151. After 3 months, about 131. So essentially, Mrs. B, in 3.5 months, you should be around 120. Tell me how excited you'd be about that. And that's without any exercise, Mrs. B. You're going to lose a whole dress size in a week. One of the things, ladies, about this, I'm not joking. You need to buy a new wardrobe because you're going to shrink so much and you're going to be able to keep it off. Remember, you're not on a diet. And why are you shrinking? Because your body is storing chemicals in your fat cells, and those fat cells have expanded. That's where the bloating comes from. Well, this protocol proven medically to remove chemicals, that's why you shrink with no exercise. This requires no exercise at all. So Mrs. B, just tell me how excited you are about those numbers. And here's the website, Mrs. B, you can go to, and you get a free consultation and a free coach if you want to. They'll give you the grocery list you take to your grocery store, and then they'll show you how to get these exotic food, the world's most perfect foods, and then they're going to coach you for free, Mrs. B. How much is the consultation? $0. How much is the coaching? $0. Now, how can we do this? Because you see the website there, Mrs. B. That is our website for this movement, the New Health Conversation. We have no products. It's a movement. It's a movement. And we all got coached for free. And so many of us, well, not just me, but a lot of other people had such amazing results. Because I would say, Mrs. B, if you lost that kind of weight that fast, you'd have friends that would ask you, what in the world are you doing? And you don't have to. There's no obligation to do it. But a lot of people come to us and say, hey, I'd like to help other people. I'd like to become a coach. And that's how we've been able to do it. We've helped 800,000 people, Mrs. B, in 23 years. 800,000. And we'd love to be able to help you. Does that make sense, Mrs. B? Now, one other question, Mrs. B, if you don't mind, or Ashton, or any of you. Can you name, just give me a yes or no, Mrs. B, are you aware of anybody on TikTok with one shred of medical evidence that you've ever seen? Just give me a yes or no. I just want to know. Because up until now, your only option was to go with these people. It was really a popularity contest on, did you want to go with a medical doctor or a chiropractor or a weight loss coach or what fitness coach? But none of them, even the MDs, they don't have any medical proof at all for what they're telling. Do keto, do paleo. There's no evidence that those things work long term, period. So we're 100% in agreement. I love it. So how about some of the rest of you? I appreciate your input. This is not pre-recorded. This is a live podcast. It's a podcast. Who's doing podcasts, educating you, giving you, listen, again, I don't want to impress you, but I'm going to press upon you. I'm not just some person. I wrote 4 best-selling books, some of the biggest medical doctors in the world. I did 20 appearances on PBS, over 1,500 live lectures around the world in hospitals and universities. Hell, they flew me to China. I was a keynote speaker at Autism One in Chicago for 2 years in a row. TikTok's been the greatest thing that I've ever come across. Why? Because I can be one-on-one like with you, Mrs. B. I couldn't do that when I was speaking in front of the biggest crowd I did was 12,000 people. I didn't have this kind of one-on-one, and we're building an army of people. We're building a movement. You can see it up there in the yellow, everybody. That's the podcast. That's the website, The New Health Conversation. If you go there, we're not even going to contact you. We don't need to. Why? The medical proof is there for you to see. By the way, none of my books are for sale. So don't, again, censors, I'm not selling books. There's no books for sale on my website. Again, I know it sounds too good to be true, but I'd love for some more people. Come on, step up to the mic and tell me if you're male or female, how your current weight, and I'll tell you how fast you can lose weight. So Mrs. B, are you excited now? You understand this is, and Mrs. B, I ask everybody this, okay? So I'm not picking on you, but it's important I know. So Mrs. B, up until today, you had, and I want you, don't put it in the chat yet, a 1 would mean, and you agree, that your only choices were to go with no medical proof opinions, okay? So a 1 is you're okay with opinions. A 2 means now that you've been aware of these medical studies, you get a choice. You either go with opinions or you go with medical proof. So Mrs. B, put in the chat for me a 1 or a 2. Which one do you want to go with? A 1 or a 2, based on new knowledge you have that you didn't have maybe 25 or 30 minutes ago. Which one? A 2. How about some of the rest of you? I'd love for anybody put in the chat for me, like Ashton. Would you go with a 1 now, or would you go with a 2 based on what you've just learned on this podcast so far? Any of you, please. This is audience participation. Come on, comment, everybody. I'll do whatever one-on-one with you. I'll answer any questions. Listen, do you know we have people with no thyroids? We have people with Hashimoto's, with goiter, with hyperthyroidism. Women, perimenopause, menopause, PCOS, Now, we're not curing, treating, diagnosing, or preventing medical conditions, but the symptoms are, like night sweats and hot flashes and mood swings, all coming down dramatically on this. Would that be of benefit to some of you with 1 billion women worldwide in menopause out of 8 billion? I think maybe that would be a good idea. Again, everybody, this is not a diet. All these side things. Good, Ruby. You are too also. Who else? Again, I'm just asking you as my audience. A 1 means you're okay with what you've been doing, following opinions, versus following 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies. That's a 2. Put a 2 in the chat or a 1. If you're 1 and you want to follow people on TikTok, including medical doctors without 1 shred of medical evidence, go ahead and do it. But a 2 means, no, I want medical proof now moving forward. Listen, you've all tried these diets, have you not? Mrs. B, have you not tried diets, lost weight and gained it back? Or Ruby or Ashton or any of you? Am I right or am I wrong? Would you be on this podcast, any of you now? If you'd found a diet that worked long term, would you be here? No. No. And again, for some of my other friends that are on other channels tuning in here, here's the website. It's free to go to. It's called The New Health Conversation. That's the website and that's the movement. Look, people are joining us. We got medical doctors and RNs and PAs and all kinds of people that are joining us because people are really excited about an alternative to just what's going on now. Does anybody believe diets are working? I mean, honestly, did you believe that? Look, it's Friday, right? Okay, at least in the United States. I know it's Saturday in Australia. But in the United States, if you happen to go to the mall, go into a Barnes & Noble. Look at how many diet titles there are. Do we need 300 different diets to tell us that 300 diets are not working? See, that's my point. This, you get a chance. Ruby, no, yeah, of course. Right, Mrs. B. Thank you very much. But in fairness to all of you, Mrs. B or Ruby or Ashton or anybody else that wants to comment, you didn't have this option until 30, 40 minutes ago, right? Did you know that, did you think possibly you were toxic? Did you know you were? Maybe you did, but okay, so let's assume you know you're toxic. What would you do about it? Because it's not paleo or keto or Mediterranean or time-restricted eating or Cornish or Zone or South Beach or Jenny Craig or Weight Watchers or Nutrisystem that has any impact. The only thing you're losing, most of what you're losing on any diet is your lean muscle mass, 25 to 40%. So let's say you lose 20 pounds, up to 8 pounds of the 20 is your lean muscle, which supports your immune system, for crying out loud. What? What are you all doing? You're doing what you thought you were taught because that's all that was available. These studies, I'm holding my hand, some of them started 15 years ago. They cost millions of dollars. And the people that invented this, they don't have any products. They don't have a company. There are no products. You're buying food and a new way of eating. It's a detox. And you can lose as much weight in 4 days as 6 weeks of any diet. I've already proved it to people that have, all I'm asking, give me are you male or female? How tall you are in your current weight, and I'll tell you how fast you can lose weight. Because all the people I've done it for so far are in shock. They can't believe that something like this actually exists. But it does. So who else would like to... if you'll tell me if you're male or female and how tall you are and your current weight, I'll tell you how much weight you can lose in just 4 days. In 4 days, not 4 weeks, 4 days. Who would like to know? And again, everybody, I'm going to put the website. I keep putting it down in the bottom of the chat. You all can go there at any moment. You get a free consultation and a free coach. How much is the consultation? $0. How much is the coaching? $0. Are we crazy? Probably. But no, it's a movement, everybody. People want to help other people. They all got coached. And that coaching changed their lives. And they came to us and said, listen, we want to help somebody else. I don't know how many of you are old enough to remember the movie, Pay It Forward. I'd love for anybody to put in the comment if any of you saw that movie. The New Health Conversation. This is a movement based on Pay It Forward. It is. We've got all these people volunteering to help you. We got medical doctors and nurses and dietitians and nutritionists and fitness trainers who sort of came over to the dark side, us, because we're the only ones with medical proof. And what they're offering to patients is just silly. It doesn't work. So who else would like to step up to the plate? And again, Well, let's go over again what this is. So diets don't work, but this did. She went all natural detox only. No products, no pills, lost 60 pounds in 90 days. 10 real human trial studies confirm it. 9 years later, still at the goal weight where she lost the weight. She's kept it off for 9 years. They all have. And here's someone who only needed to lose 30 pounds. Excuse me, she lost 21 pounds in 30 days. That's 30 days, everybody. And then if we look at a 65-year-old man here, look at this. 40 pounds in a month, 40. And I know people came on, rightfully so, and they said, oh my God, it's unhealthy to lose that much weight that fast on a diet. Yeah, this is not a diet. This is absolutely medically proven to be safe. He gained, at 65 years of age with no exercise, he still gained 6 to 9% lean muscle mass. Look at his stomach. Do you think he's healthier on day 1 or on day 30? But look at his numbers, his A1C from 8.4 to 6.4. That's a 25% drop in 30 days. All the diabetics on this had to cut their meds by about 50% in a month. People on high blood pressure medication, the same thing, with the help of their doctors, not with us. We're not advising people on how to, prescribe. We're not doing that. We're not playing that game. That's up to you and your doctor. But obviously his A1C came down so much, they had to cut the insulin or he would have been over-medicated. So again, anybody, and then of course, Eric, 45 pounds in a month, triglycerides 229 to 110, bad cholesterol 145 to 62. Look at his blood pressure, 134 over 91, dropped to 102 over 61. That's in 30 days. 30 days, everybody. There's nothing like this on the planet. There's nothing like it. So who else would like to have me give them a free consultation? I just need to know if you're male or female, how tall you are and your current weight, and I'll tell you how much. Why are you afraid to find out that you could change your entire life for the rest of your life? I mean, I know the temptation is you want to follow these people on TikTok, but they don't have any medical proof. This is the only protocol with medical proof. My God, it's published in 10 of the biggest medical journals in the world. Oh, and the pharmaceuticals have clinical studies, but let's do that now. Let's take a look at a big study done in the New England Journal of Medicine on one of the GLP-1s, semaglutide, okay? New England Journal of Medicine, everyone, is probably the top medical journal in the whole world. They did a 68-week study. I'm holding it in my hand. It's on our website. You can go see it. Listen to the numbers. 68 weeks, that's 1 year and 4 months, not 6 or 8 weeks, 68 weeks. And let me just show you this. So I'm reading from the study. After 68 weeks, the weight loss was 32 pounds, and of the 32 pounds people lost, 40% was lean muscle mass. So it took them 68 weeks to lose 32 pounds, and 40% was lean muscle mass. It's right in the study. She lost 21 pounds in a month and gained 6 to 9% lean muscle. Or our poster girl lost 60 pounds in 90 days. According to their own numbers on the study, it would have taken her 28 months to lose 60 pounds. But there's another thing now coming up, and that other thing is the side effects of the shots. Now, again, we're not against the shots. They're helping diabetics. If you're diabetic, you need the shot. Don't ever say you're not doing the shot or you're morbidly obese. But this is pretty eye-opening. This is a new study that came out about a week ago on the GLP-1s. I'm going to read from the study. Bear with me because this could change your life or your opinion, even if you are in the shot or you're thinking about taking the pill now, et cetera. But I want to show you the new evidence of what's really happening. The GLP-1 starvation epidemic, a medical disaster unfolding in plain sight. These so-called miracle weight loss injections, Ozempic, Wegovy, Mounjaro, are being pushed as the ultimate fix for obesity. But behind the glossy ads and celebrity endorsements lies the truth. These GLP-1s, are systematically starving millions of users from the inside out. This isn't a side effect. This is a full-blown nutritional catastrophe that doctors are only now waking up. Here's the raw, unfiltered reality every person consuming these drugs need to know. Scurvy is back. Listen to this. Scurvy is back. It's hitting modern patients. Australian researchers just exposed the scandal. 17 years of analysis on the shots in clinical trials barely bothered to track what patients were eating, okay? Now we're seeing real cases of full-blown scurvy. Yes, Pirates disease, bleeding gums, open wounds, total exhaustion. British star Robbie Williams publicly blamed his 2025 scurvy diagnosis on these shots. I stopped eating. I wasn't getting nutrients. This is 2026, not 1700. How the hell do we let this happen? Up to 40% of your weight loss is precious lean muscle, turning you frail and broken. Forget the scale victories. You're losing lean muscle mass at terrifying rates, especially if you're over 40. This accelerates sarcopenia, osteoporosis, heart failure, and permanent metabolic damage. That's one of the side. Every drug we know side effects. So one of the side effects of the thing is it causing scurvy. Really? We're not making a judgment. We're just telling you what the medical proof is saying. You do whatever you want. If you want to go in the shots, you're definitely going to lose weight. But what kind of weight are you losing? There's the dilemma. What kind of weight are you losing? I mean, this is the medical proof. Yes, some of them, Mrs. B, are from blue zones. Absolutely, some of them are. Not all of them. But the principle's the same, that the people in these other regions that aren't necessarily classified blue zones, none of them are overweight. None. And you understand, Mrs. B, that 70% of the food you're going to get, you can't buy in any grocery store. But another thing I should tell you, Mrs. B and Ruby and everybody else, if you go to the website, which I hope you'll do, I'm going to put it in the chat again, right below your name. I put it above your name at the same time. The New Health Conversation. Here it is right there. Okay, hold on. Okay, I just posted it. That website, the only thing there was a medical proof. But what's going to happen if you go there and you like what you see, scroll down, it says free consultation, free coaching. But it'll also say, and I don't want to mislead anybody, Mrs. B, it says 100% money back guarantee. Let me clarify that. The 70% of the food, 30% of the food you're buying from your grocery store, they won't refund your money. You're buying a month's worth of food from them. You're buying a month's worth of food, the 70% from these exotic, from these researchers. If this doesn't work for you, Mrs. B, in the first 30 days, the 70% you're spending, 100% money back guarantee. I always like to explain that to people. Well, it said 100% money back guarantee. We're providing the free coaching. You're buying 30% of the food from your grocery store, which you won't get a refund on. And the 70%, if this didn't work for you, Mrs. B, no questions asked, they'll even pay return shipping. So, Mrs. B, you tell me if you've seen anything like that on social media, along with the fact this is medically proven and medically backed. Isn't that pretty good? Isn't that a great option for all of you? You're buying a month's worth of food, everybody. There's no products. There's no lotions, potions, pills, etc. It's food. Yeah, I know, sweet. So it increases. So imagine, Mrs. B, you could eat a month's worth of food, including the 70%. And if it didn't work, 70% of what you spent, you're going to get a refund. Where do you get to do that? What grocery store can you go to do that? Well, obviously you can't at your grocery store. They're not going to refund. I understand why they wouldn't. And then maintenance is so simple. You just have the world's most perfect food for breakfast every morning, lunch, and dinner. And then every 2 months, do another 48-hour detox, Mrs. B. Why? Because the chemicals aren't going on vacation, the toxins. Right now, we're breathing in the fumes from the coal-fired power plants in China from 2 weeks ago, if you live in North America. That's a fact. It's not up for debate. I mean, I think you were there, Mrs. B, when I talked about, I discovered a medical syndrome that every person in the world has. TDOS, T for toxins, D for the lack of nutrition in our food, overweight, and stress. And every person in the world has it. It's a registered trademark with the U.S. Patent Office. Pretty big deal. We're all toxic, including me. There's no way around it. I mean, they did a study, everyone, on newborn infants about 10 years ago. And they looked at the cord blood of infants at birth, and they found an average on every baby in their blood at birth of 287 toxic chemicals. So if you can imagine, if a newborn's coming in the world with almost 300 chemicals, how many do you think you have stored inside your bodies? And me, a lot. So who else would like to, if you tell me, if you're male or female, and how tall you are, I'll tell you, well, I'm going to tell you right now, you'll lose as much weight in 4 days on this as 6 weeks of any diet. Diets don't work, but this did. She went all natural detox only, no products, no pills, lost 60 pounds in 90 days. 10 real human trial studies confirm it. 9 years later, the weight is off. She's maintained her weight loss for 9 years. It's not a diet, it's a detox. It's based on food. There are no products to buy. You're buying food and a new way of eating developed by the top weight loss researchers in the world after 40 years of research, and they have no products and they have no company. You get a grocery list of food to buy, and then we coach you for free on how to consume it in a completely new way of eating, that you're going to lose as much weight in 4 days as 6 weeks of any diet you've ever been on. Yeah, I know, Mrs. B. Wow, I agree. Wow. Who else would like to know? If you'll tell me how tall you are. See, I think what's so sad is that people are making a judgment trying to compare this to other things on social media. But this is the only one, other than pharmaceutical drugs, with any peer-reviewed human trial studies at all on what we're talking about. This is published in 10 of the biggest medical journals in the world. So of the people that are left or on here, if any of you would like to tell me, are you male or female and how tall you are, I'll tell you how fast you can lose weight on this. Basically, you're going to lose weight in in 4 days. It would take you 6 weeks on any diet. Who'd like to know? Is anybody curious about how did she lose 60 pounds in 90 days? Would anybody like to know? It's not a diet, it's a detox. It's completely different. There's no counting calories, and no one is even allowed to exercise. Hi, Vidal. Hello, Kevin. Hello, people coming on. Hello and welcome. This is a podcast. It's not pre-recorded. It's not AI. It's live with me. My name is Peter Greenlaw. I started the New Health Conversation. It's a movement, and this is our podcast. It's a medical podcast that we try and do 4 or 5 times a day to reach as many people as we can to stop them from the disaster of going on traditional diets that just don't work. And again, I always challenge people, any of you new people, if you can tell me anybody on social media that you've seen with one shred of medical evidence. Oh, they have opinions, but they got no proof. We're quoting and showing you what they did published in 10 of the biggest medical journals in the world. This is safe, it's real, and people are losing the kind of weight in 4 days that would take you 6 weeks on any diet. You're losing in a month what would take you literally almost a year on diets. It's so powerful, and it's not a diet, and there's no counting calories, and no one was allowed to exercise. And I'm happy to walk you through it if someone would like to know. I'm not a mind reader, so you can put in the chat, tell us how, or if you want to tell me, Schmitty, the program is, well, first of all, it's to get your weight off, to get you to your goal weight. Then we teach you how to look, I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks, 23 years ago. And my maintenance is really simple. I have the world's most perfect food I had it this morning. I'll have lunch in a couple hours and dinner tonight. And then every couple months, I do another 48-hour detox. Were you around, Schmitty, when I went over exactly what's involved? I'm happy to do it for you. Just tell me yes or no. Did you get a chance to hear how this works? It's based on food. There are no products. It's based on a new way of eating. 30% of the food comes from your grocery store. That's it. The other 70% of the money you have left goes to these exotic foods that come from Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand, that allow you to consume smaller amounts of food with huge amounts of nutrition, which allows your body to naturally detox, which occurs every night when we go to sleep. As long as we don't eat too late, our body detoxes in a process called autophagy, when our body gets rid of the dead cells. Okay, Schmitty, so let me explain it to you. So first of all, it was invented by the top weight loss researchers in the world. They had been paid for 40 years to analyze diets, and in 40 years, they never found a diet where people lost weight, kept it off, and 2/3 of everybody ended up gaining more weight than they lost. Maybe you've experienced some of that already, Schmitty, because 25 to 40%, Schmitty, of what you're losing on any diet, I don't care what the name of it is your lean muscle mass. When you do that, your body slows down your metabolism. That's why you've gained all the weight back. You wouldn't be on this call, this Zoom, this podcast, sorry, if you had lost weight on a diet and kept it off. Let's be honest, nobody would be on this podcast. So the researchers, after 40 years, said diets just don't work. And they sought out other people in the world who aren't overweight. So they found other researchers who'd gone to remote areas in Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand, Schmitty, and they found people there, nobody was overweight. And it was one simple thing they were doing. The foods they were consuming just had really high levels of nutrition. So what they did, they got these foods from these researchers, And then they put a grocery list together for us that we could go to the grocery store, but only 30%, Schmitty, of whatever you bought last month, that's all you're going to buy at the grocery store. So take your total food budget, take 30%, and you're going to get a list from our coaches of proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables. You got it? Only 30% of what you're going to spend, leaving you 70% of the money to buy these foods from Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand that represent massive amounts of nutrition, so much so that the researchers call them the world's most perfect foods. From a nutritional standpoint, they have over 300 nutrients. Did you hear what I said, Schmitty? 300, okay? Then they invented a new way of eating called protein pacing. So until you lose your weight, the 5 days each week as you go through to get to your goal, you are having 4 meals a day. You're starting with the world's most perfect foods for breakfast, lunch and dinner from the grocery store, and a 4th meal after dinner, the world's most perfect foods. Now, don't tell me about 4 meals. It's got to be 4 meals. They proved it medically. This protocol is called protein pacing. It's a registered trademark with the U.S. Patent Office. You can look it up. 2 days a week, no food from the grocery store, only these world's most perfect foods. And this time, she ate 8 times a day, Schmitty. She was eating every hour and a half for 2 hours. The diabetics on this, no one had insulin spikes. People who weighed 400 pounds weren't hungry. And really, then this is why it's a detox. So let me slow down, Schmitty. Do you believe, give me a yes or no, we're living in a toxic world and that you and me and everybody is toxic, meaning we're drinking, we're breathing, we're eating chemicals. The body, to protect us, takes that chemical and stuffs it inside what's called our visceral fat. That's the fat around the organs. And that's the bloating that you experience or anybody experiences. Has nothing to do with gaining fat. That's a total lie. You have the same number of fat cells at puberty you have when you die, and your fat cells expand or contract, and they're expanding because we're storing chemicals in the fat cells. On this, they proved in those 2 days through blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis, this is removing chemicals from the body. Not up for debate. That's why people shrink. Schmitty, you can expect to lose a whole, as a man or woman, women lose a dress size in a week, men lose 2 to 4 inches off their waist in just a week. It's crazy. And then maintenance is simple. You have I had this morning, the world's most perfect food for breakfast. I'll have lunch and dinner. I lost 40 pounds, 20 kilos, 23 years ago, Schmitty. I've kept it off for 23 years. And if you go to, our website is free. No, I just explained it to you, Schmitty. You're going to spend about what you did last month, because you're only buying 30% of the food you bought at your grocery store. The other 70%, maybe another $25 or $30 more a week. But Schmitty, have you ever seen results like this? Smitty, let me ask you a question. You're one-on-one with me. This is live. It's not AI. It's not a recording. Smitty, be honest with me. Are you aware of anybody on social media, anybody on TikTok, with 1 shred of medical evidence? Give me a yes or no. Smitty, give me a yes or no. Have you seen anybody on social media or TikTok with 1 shred of medical evidence? I'm talking about medical doctors and chiropractors and dietitians and nutritionists and fitness trainers. No. So Schmitty, up until a few minutes ago, your choice, I'm sure you're going to agree with me, was to go with a popularity contest. Because if none of those people, whether it's a medical doctor or a chiropractor or a dietitian or a nutritionist or fitness trainer, has 1 shred of medical evidence, they're all in the same boat. So now it's a question of which one, it's kind of like which lie do you want to listen to? Because without a peer-reviewed human trial study, it's not necessarily a lie, it's just an opinion. But opinions are not medical facts. Medical facts are based on peer-reviewed human. Now, Schmitty, are you familiar? Here's the website. Okay, hold on. And understand, if you go there, it's free to go there, and we're not going to contact you. But if you like what you see, scroll down, and you get a free consultation and a free coach. They'll do your analysis, and then if you decide to do it, they'll coach you the whole time for free. Schmitty, you get a coach for free the whole time. Did you hear what I said? 0. How much is the coaching? 0. How much is the consultation, everybody? 0. What do you buy from us? Nothing. We don't have any products. 30% of your food's going to come from the grocery store of what you spent last month total. 70% of that money left over pretty much pays for those foods from around the world. But Schmitty or Shanika, no, Pat, no, not at. No, don't do at. Do the new. Here, everybody. It's The New Health. The reason the at is that's my TikTok site. I've got 1,500 videos there, but there's no medical proof, and you can't get a coach. So if you go to the website, it's just The New Health Conversation. Hold on, I'm typing it in there again. So Schmitty, well, I hope you will, Schmitty. Okay, and also Shanika, and also, but Pat Geis 45, Comcast.net. Are you clear? Go to The New Health Conversation. Don't do at. And any of you, whether it's Shanika or it's Pat or Schmid, if you'll want to, you don't have to. If you tell me, if it's not obvious to me, are you male or female? How tall are you? Your current weight. I'll give you a quick analysis of what you can expect to lose in 4 days and get your goal weight in 1/10 the time of any diet. I just need to know if you're male or female, how tall you are, and your current weight, and we'll show you how fat. Now remember, everybody, the medical studies are on the website for you to see. There's also an interview with the number one. Oh, Schmitty, I'm 5'3", 221. Okay, Schmitty, get ready. 5'3", a great weight for you is going to be about 115. That's going to be 106 pounds. Schmitty, first 4 days, listen to me carefully, 8 to 10 pounds. The first month, Schmitty, probably 25 pounds, which is going to get you down essentially to 196 after 30 days. The second month, 196, you should be dropping down 196, about 181. The third month, it'll slow down a little bit. So third month, I expect you to be 140. The fifth month, 120. So about 5 months and a week or two, Schmitty, you should be right at about 115. Tell me how excited you'd be about those numbers, Schmitty. We see it all the time. Well, look, Schmitty, she'll have 60 pounds in 90 days. You do the math. You have a little bit more weight to lose than she does. And Schmitty, you're going to lose a whole dress size in the first week with no exercise. Give me a comment, Schmitty. Oh, that would be great. Right. Okay. Would you be like out of your mind? If you stand on the scale after 4 days and you're down 6 or 8 pounds, you tell me how excited you're going to be and how you're going to believe that this is really possible. So there's the website again, right below your name. So would anybody else like to have me give them a free evaluation? Thanks for doing that, Schmitty. I really appreciate it. Hold on, everybody here. I want to see. So again, Schmitty, I did that. Okay, who else was here? So Shanika, if you want to know, or Pat, if you want to know, all I need, oh, good. No, Schmitty, thank you. But remember, Schmitty, when you go to the website, we're not going to contact you. If you go there, you scroll all the way down to the bottom. It says free consultation. Also, I want to clarify for everybody, including you, Schmitty, it'll also say 100% money back guarantee. Let me clarify. The 30% you're going to spend of your grocery at your grocery store, they're not going to refund your money. But the other 70% of the money you're spending for these foods from Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand, if this doesn't work for you in the first month, Schmitty, 100% money back guarantee. They'll even pay return shipping. So you tell me, Schmitty, if you've ever heard of anything like that. You're buying a month's worth of food, and 70% of it, if this didn't work for you, you get all your money back. You tell me. But you think she wants her money back when she's losing 5 pounds a week? No way. No way. So isn't that great, Schmitty, or any of the rest of you? So again, would anybody like to know? I'm going to go about another 30 minutes. Hopefully my voice will hold up. But if anybody would like, yes, it's great. Good, Schmitty. Have fun on the website. And like I said, you scroll all the way down to get a free coach. It says free. It says free consultation. You click on that and you fill in your information and they'll call you or text you or FaceTime you or whatever you want to do. Normally, we get back to you within 24 hours, just to let you know, okay? Again, would anybody, I'll do a couple of things. One, I can explain to you what she did. Diets don't work, but this did. She went all natural, detox only, no products, no pills, lost 60 pounds in 90 days, 10 real human trial studies confirm it. 9 years later, she still has the weight gone. So she was able to lose the weight effectively in 90 days, and she's kept it off now for 9 years. This is not a diet. It has nothing to do with dieting. Wow, it's too hot in here. I got to turn the heat down. Hold on, everybody. I'll be right back. Well, see, now you know it's live. It's absolutely live. This is not pre-recorded. It couldn't be pre-recorded because I'm interacting with all of you. So again, for any of the new people that are on here, are you curious about what she did? But it's not just her. I mean, how about she only needed to lose 30 pounds. She lost 21 pounds in a month. And then we look at Mary here. Look at this. 200 pounds in 11 months. 11 months. There's nothing you can ever do that will compete with this. And I would challenge any of you to tell me anybody you've seen on TikTok or anywhere on social media with any medical proof They've all got opinions and they show you before and afters, but they don't have any medical proof that we can find. You all are in a position where you could hit the reset button for the rest of your lives if that's what you want to do. So again, who else would like to? I can't do this by myself, everybody. This is a live podcast. And my goal is one of two things, either to explain to you what she did or to give you a free personal, or both, a personal consultation. If you tell me if you're male or female, how tall you are and your current weight, I'll tell you how fast you can lose weight. I'm a nutritional scientist, a nutritional researcher. For the new people on here, in case you think I'm just somebody up here yakking, I'm going to show you my bio, but I'm not trying to impress you, but I want to impress upon you that I'm not just some person, okay? I am a person, but I'm a researcher. So I've written 4 best-selling books with some of the biggest medical doctors in the world. You can see the books behind me. None of them are for sale on my website, by the way. There's nothing on that website except medical proof. I've done 20 appearances on PBS. I've done over 1,500 live lectures all over the world, including in China, universities and hospitals. I was a keynote at Autism One in Chicago, the largest autism conference in the world, 2 years in a row. And I come to you, and I invented the New Health Conversation, which is the movement. We have no products, there's no company, it's a movement that people join. We have coaches that have volunteered to be free coaches for all of you because they went through the protocol and had such amazing results. So just to let you know, I'm not just giving you a bunch of smoke and mirrors, that everything I'm sharing with you is based on medical proof. I don't give out opinions. If you want opinions, there's plenty of people on TikTok, all the people on TikTok. And the only other people on TikTok with any medical proof are the pharmaceutical companies with the GLP-1s. We'll get into all of that here in just a moment. But in the meantime, oh, great, AbJ, 140, 158, 33 years old. Okay, AbJ, important though. Here's a very important question before we start. This is not available everywhere in the world. It's available, I'm going to speak slowly so you understand. It's only available in the United States, Canada, Mexico, Puerto Rico, New Zealand, Australia, and anywhere in the EU. So if you're in the Caribbean, if you're in South America, if you're in Africa, if you're in Southeast Asia, it's not available. So before I get you all excited about what you can do on this, tell me, are you in one of those countries? The countries where it's available: United States, Canada, Mexico, Puerto Rico, the EU, anywhere in the EU, or in what's in Cyprus also, I guess, but it's also available in New Zealand and Australia. Oh, see, that's the problem. It's not available in Ghana. That's what I was worried about. I've had a number of people in Ghana. I've had a lot of people from Africa, South Africa, all over. But I'm very, very sorry, AbJ. It's not available. You're welcome to listen. But again, I don't want to get you all excited about how much weight you could lose, because it's not going to be possible for you to get your hands on this. Because I have nothing to do with it. We don't sell. I have nothing to sell you. I'm a scientist. Well, thank you, AbJ, for being part of this. So again, would anybody else like to step up and just tell me, are you male or female, how tall you are, and what your current weight is? I'll tell you how fast you can lose weight. Who would like to know? Who would like to know? Anybody? Or I can just explain it to all of you. How's the detox? How does it work? Maybe I should do that. So let me go over it with everybody. So first of all, who invented this? It was invented by the top weight loss researchers in the world. They were paid for 40 years to analyze diets. In the 40 years of analyzing diets, they never found one that worked. It's worse, 2/3 of everybody on every diet they ever analyzed gained more weight than they lost, because 25 to 40% of the weight they were actually losing was lean muscle mass, period. Lean muscle mass. And that caused them to slow down their metabolism, and they gained all their weight back every time. So good, it's available, Nubian, it's definitely available in the UK. Yes, absolutely available in the UK. And Nubian, let me finish. I'm going to walk you through, and then I'll give you a free analysis if you'd like me to do that when I'm done explaining how and why it works and why you should be excited about finding out about it. And in the meantime, Nubian, here's the website you're going to be able to go to if you want. But if you do go there to fill out a form to get a free coach, you have to put in your WhatsApp phone number. Give me a yes, assuming you have a WhatsApp phone number. Most people now around the world have WhatsApp, so it's free for us to call you, text you, FaceTime you, etc. So, but now I'm going to walk you through how this works. So the researchers, after 40 years, decided diets just didn't work. But were there people somewhere in the world who weren't overweight? So they found other researchers who'd been going to these remote areas and finding foods that people were eating where nobody was overweight. And these foods came from places like Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand. And these people, nobody was overweight. And it was really pretty simple. Those people, they didn't count calories. Obviously, there were no processed food, but that wasn't it. The foods they had available to them that aren't available to any of us, at least in the Western world, just had really high levels of nutrition. Therefore, they could eat less food. If I can teach you anything, it's this. You've never in your life, Nubian or anybody else, ever been hungry for calories. Your body can't count a calorie. It doesn't care about calories. It doesn't know what calories are. The only thing your body can care about is nutrition, period, end of the story. You got it? So the researchers got these foods from these ancient areas. Now, they don't sell anything. That you actually would buy them directly from these researchers from Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand. But the researchers here put together a food list that you would take to the grocery store of proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables. And only about 30%, as far as cost goes, listen to me carefully, everybody. Imagine you have no food in your house. You come to us, we give you a grocery list. You take it to your grocery store. But you're only going to spend about 30% of whatever you spent last month total on foods at your grocery store, leaving you 70% of the money to buy these foods from around the world. It'll about pay for it, if not maybe $25 or $30 per week more than what you're spending. But you're getting these foods that have over 300 nutrients. Let me repeat that. They have over 300 nutrients. So unless you're on a prescription for low iron or calcium, get rid of your vitamin. You don't need any supplements at all moving forward. So now they had the two food groups, right? 30% of what you're buying from the grocery store, 70% of the money goes to these foods from around the world. Then they invented a new way of eating. So Nubian, 5 days a week, you're going to have 4 meals a day. You're going to start with the world's most perfect foods for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I think in the UK they call them shops. We call them grocery stores, where you buy your food, but only 30% of it, right? So 5 days a week, start with the world's most perfect food, lunch and dinner from your grocery store list, and a fourth meal after dinner from the world's most perfect foods. 2 days a week, no food from your grocery store, only these world's most perfect foods. This time, she ate 8 times a day, and here's where the detox comes in. So Nubian and everybody else on here, I hope you understand we're living in a toxic world. And all of us are toxic, including me. We're drinking, we're breathing, eating chemicals as they enter our body. The body's taking that chemical and stuffing it inside what's called our visceral fat. The visceral fat is what surrounds our organs, and those fat cells expand. Here's one thing I will tell you. You're not getting fatter. That is a no. You have the same number of fat cells at puberty you have when you die. So when people come on here on other platforms and tell you can burn fat, here's a diet to burn fat, or you burn fat at a gym, it's just a lie. It's not true. You have the same number of fat cells at puberty you do when you die, give or take a few. That's it. But those fat cells can expand or they can contract. Here, they proved after the 48 hours where she had no food from the grocery store, just these exotic foods from around the world, eating 8 times a day, that they did through blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis, they proved this was assisting her body in removing chemicals from her body, and she shrank. Most women on this lose a whole dress size in a week. Most men lose 2 to 4 inches off their waist in a week. And then maintenance is simple. You have like this morning, I had the world's most perfect foods for breakfast, and I'll have lunch and dinner. I lost 20 kilos or 40 pounds in 30 days, 7 years ago. I've kept it off for 7 years. Does that sound interesting to all of you? Because you can change your whole life in a really, really short period of time. So if anybody would like to, including you, Nubian, if you'll tell me, if it's not obvious to me, are you male or female, how tall you are, and your current weight, and I'll show you how much weight you can lose in 4 days, and then show you how much you can actually lose in a month. So who would like to put in the chat? Again, I just need to know if you're male or female, how tall you are, and your current weight. I'll tell you how fast you can lose weight on this in 4. You're going to lose as much weight in 4 days as 6 weeks of any diet. That's the norm on this. That's not, well, you can see what she lost. She averaged 5 pounds a week. But the first 4 days, she lost more than 5 pounds. I can tell you that. I know her story. It's the daughter of a friend of mine. And if we go down the list, if we look at, here's a 65-year-old man, diabetic. Look at this, everyone. That's 20 kilos in a month. 20 kilos, 40 pounds in a month. But look at his A1C. Went from 8.4 to 6.4. That's unheard of with diabetics. That means a 25% drop in A1C in 30 days. There's no meds, nothing you can give anybody to have that kind of an outcome. And then if we look at Eric here, how about 45 pounds? That's 22 and a half kilos in a month. His triglycerides and LDL went down by 50% in 30 days. His blood pressure, 134 over 91, dropped to 102 over 61. That's in 30 days already, 30 days. So again, you all have a chance to hit the reset, the do-over button, whatever you want to call it. So again, who else would like to make a comment or chime in? Let me give you a free personal analysis right now. I just need to know if you're male or female, how tall you are, and what your current weight is, and I'll show you how fast you can lose weight. So I'm still waiting for anybody to just put in, tell me if you're male or female, how tall you are, and your current weight, and I'll tell you how fast you can lose weight, because I'm only going to go maybe another 5 minutes, and then I do have to go, and then I'll be back on air probably around 12:30 Eastern Standard Time today. That would be 7:30 at night in London, for example, or in the UK with you, Nubian, because I believe right now Nubian 5 and 2, it's around 2:13 in the afternoon. 7 hours would be 5, but yeah, around 2:13 in the afternoon in the UK. Am I correct, Nubian? If it's still on. Oh, I mean 180 pounds and 5'3". I didn't, okay. All right, so if you're 5'3", a great weight for you is going to be about 115. That's going to be 65 pounds. Okay, get ready, Ma, Bubby, yourself. Brace yourself. The first 4 days, 180, you're going to lose 6 or 8 pounds in 4 days. The first month, minimum 20 pounds. So after 1 month, 160. After 2 months, 140. After 3 months, around 120, 122. So I'm going to say 4.5 months, you'll be at 115. My Ruby, Bubby, tell me how excited you'd be about that. There's no exercise involved. They weren't allowed to exercise. They wore Fitbits. If you want to exercise, you certainly can. And this is normal. This isn't anything exceptional. The numbers I'm giving you are based on 23 years of research. We've helped 800,000 people. So when I'm giving you those numbers, it's based on 800,000. Tell me how excited I'd be. Well, no, because you're trying diets. They don't work. So first, comment. How excited are you about those numbers? Tell me how out of your mind you'd be over the numbers I just told you. Yes, no, maybe, excited? I want to know how excited you'd be about those numbers. And I'm going to explain to you exactly what you're going to do here in just a moment. But I want to make sure you're excited. If you're not excited about those numbers, there's no point in me telling you how to do it, right? I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Yes. All right. So Ma, Bubby. Okay, here's what you do. First of all, it was invented by the top weight loss researchers in the world, and you'll notice it's a detox. It is not a diet. First of all, let me ask you a question. Good, love to cook. I'm excited. Good. And love to cook. If you want to tell me I think you're female, how tall you are and your current weight, I'll tell you how fast you can lose weight. But in the meantime, I'm going to explain how it would work where you could lose this much weight. First of all, you notice it's a natural detox. It is not a diet. There was no calorie counting. No one was allowed even to exercise. It was invented by the top weight loss researchers in the world who'd been paid for 40 years to analyze diets. They never found a diet that worked. So they found these other researchers who had gone to areas in the world to find foods in regions where nobody was overweight. And those foods had huge amounts of nutrition. That was the secret to this. How do those people manage not to gain weight? Because they were getting enough nutrition. See, any of you ever been hungry in your life for a calorie? The reason my baby and everybody else, and the reason you can't lose weight is you're counting your love to cook. I just need to know how much you weigh. It was based on calorie counting, but here's the problem. Your body can't count a calorie, doesn't know what calories are, doesn't give a damn about a calorie. The only thing your body cares about is nutrition. So here's what you're going to do. The researchers put a food list together that you would get from us, from the coaches. How much is the food list? 0. You buy nothing from us. We have nothing to sell you. You go to your grocery store. There's on the list proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables based on serving sizes. And you're only going to spend 30% of what you spent last month, because the other 70% of the money you have left and what you're going to consume doesn't come from any grocery store anywhere in the world. It comes from these regions in Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand, with these huge amounts of nutrition in small amounts of food. Then what they did based on that, they put together a new eating pattern. It's called protein pacing. It's a registered trademark with the U.S. Patent Office. You all can look it up. So 5 days a week, she was having 4 meals a day. So again, my bubby, I'm telling you exactly, and love to cook. I'm telling you what you would be doing. So 5 days a week, you're going to start with the world's most perfect foods. That's what they call them, from Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand. And why do they call them the world's most perfect foods? Because they contain about 300 nutrients, not 30, 300. So unless you're on a prescription for low iron or calcium, you need no supplements at all. You got it so far? So breakfast, world's most perfect food. Lunch and dinner from your grocery store, and a fourth meal after dinner, the world's most perfect food. So you're bookending your days. You're starting in the morning with the world's most perfect foods. You're ending your fourth meal with the world's most perfect foods. 5 days a week until you lose your weight. 2 days a week, no food from the grocery store at all. Only these world's most perfect foods. And this time, she ate 8 times a day. Oh no. Damn it. I have a bloody nose. Damn it. I'm sorry. Damn it. Sorry, everybody. That just sucks. Hold on. Injured on the job. Injured on the job. Okay, hold on. I'll keep going. Let me finish this podcast for all of you. So, at any rate, what you're going to do is 2 days a week, you're going to eat 8 times a day, and you're going to lose as much weight in those 4 days as in 6 weeks of any diet, okay? Now, the other thing that I want you to know is that there's no calorie counting and there was no exercise involved. It was strictly involving this protocol of 5 days a week, 4 meals a day, and 2 days a week, 8 meals a day. Maintenance, you're going to have the world's most perfect foods for breakfast every morning, and then once every couple months, do another 48-hour detox. You got it, everybody? So, oh, damn, I don't know. It's so dry here. That must have been what happened. But anyway, I apologize. You can tell it's live. All right, so let me do a quick analysis, and then I gotta deal with this bloody nose. Okay. So anyway, Love Cook, excited. All right. So Love Cook, I'm a 5'2" female. I weigh 90 kilos. Okay. At 90 kilos, the most you want to be at 5'2" is about 55 kilos. So the first 4 days, Love to Cook, you should lose between 4 and 5 kilos. The first month, you'll probably lose 10 kilos. You're going to get down to 80 kilos after a month. You should be 70 kilos after 2 months. 3 months, you should be 60 kilos. So about 3 months and 1 to 2 weeks, you're going to be at 55 kilos. Love to Cook, put it in the chat. Tell me how excited you are about that. Now, Nubian. Okay, so Nubian, let's see, how big are you? You're 109, 5'3". Okay. You're talking about 109 kilos, I'm sure. Okay, so at 5'3", again, you should be no more than about 55 kilos. You're going to lose in the first 4 days 4 to 5 kilos. The first month, at least 10. So 99 kilos after 1 month, 89 kilos after 2 months, 79 kilos after 3 months, 69 kilos after 4 months. So about 4.5 months, 5 months at the most, you should be around 55 kilos. So Nubian, tell me how excited you are about that. Pretty excited? All right, everybody, listen, I've got to end this. Obviously, I'm dealing with a bloody nose here. I got to get that fixed. I hope I've helped all of you. And all, please go to this website. It's free to go there, The New Health Conversation. Hold on. Here it is right there, The New Health Conversation. If you go there, we won't contact you. The only thing on that website is the medical proof. I urge you to go there and see the medical proof for yourselves. And if you like what you see, you get a free coach. Okay? So I've got to end, everybody. Thank you very much for being here this morning. I'm going to come back on again, hopefully if I solve my nose problem here around 12:30 Eastern time today. Thanks, everybody.